So to begin with, during the break, Brent called me out and does not think I can learn how to become a medical doctor in 48 hours. But I am up to the challenge. I need a medical doctor who will allow me to practice on their patients, and I think I can prove it. So if anybody has a guy. No, but seriously, think about it. I tried to pitch him on this. So I don't think I can learn everything about medicine in 48-hour time, but I can learn everything I need to know to work with a client or a patient. They come in, I'm like, that looks really weird. I'll be back in a second. Look it up online, get the answer, come back in, hey, you got this. And he's like, well, you wouldn't know the dosages. I'm like, I go back to the computer, I type it in, I get the dosages. Anyway, Dr. Google. I just think that the problem with schools, they try to teach you all this stuff. Now I wouldn't say it about becoming a specialist, right? I'm not going to go perform brain surgery in 2 days. That'll probably take me a week or two. I'm messing on that one. No, that's a different story. But anyway, I'm really not that cocky of a person, I swear. But I think literally any of you guys, though, you could learn. If you look at like the learning cycles, I can't remember who I was studying was talking about this. They're talking about how here's 100%, right? And 90% of what anybody will do in their profession, you learn in you can learn really, really fast, right? And there's that last 10% that's the specialist stuff that takes a lot, right? But most of it, you can learn that initial 90% very, very fast. And if you want to become an expert in anything, you can do it very, very quick. Anyway, all right, so now we get to the fun stuff. Now we get to the tactical, the scripts and stuff. So like I said, we're going to start down here at the bottom of the value ladder. And I wasn't going to go up like this, but we only have Robbie for a couple hours. And so Robbie's stuff is awesome. And this is the high-ticket stuff that a lot of you guys are wanting and needing. So we're going to go from here to here, and then we'll come back to the middle stuff. So, okay, so I'm going to start with the first two scripts. So the first one, I call this the Inquirer script. And do you guys look at my image? I was really proud of this one. You've got the 300-pound baby. So I call this the Inquirer interrupts because this is the shortest script in the world. This is 3 or 4 words, right? But it's the initial script you need to get somebody to take action. Okay. Especially when they're cold traffic or someone that's new to you, you have to be able to communicate them in a very, very short period of time, right? We're down to our 9-second thing, right? We have a very short period of time to catch them. And so back in the day, we used to write these headlines that were super big. And I think you can write bigger headlines when people are on more of the product aware cycle, right? We're talking about the different levels. But initially, when we're trying to grab someone's attention, we have to be short, fast, and punchy. Okay, so if you look at probably the best example of that in the world, it's National Enquirer. Okay, I'm probably the only one in this room that does this today, but hopefully by tomorrow, all of you guys will do this. Whenever I'm trying to write headlines, I go to Google Images, I type in National Enquirer, and all these National Enquirers pop up. And I look at headlines. Okay, when we first launched our supplement, Neurocell, I had an 18-word headline. And I remember showing it to one of my buddies named Aaron Lilly. And Aaron's got a product. And many of you guys, when you fly on an airplane, you guys look at SkyMall magazine. You know in SkyMall magazine, there's that product that's in every single one that has this cream, and you put it on your mole, and your mole falls off? You guys seen that before? Okay, that's Aaron's product. He does insane numbers with that, and he's killing it. So he's one of my friends that's just making the most money I know in the supplement space. And I showed him my headline. I showed him my whole site, and he's like, the biggest problem, he's like, your headline's 18 words. He's like, in this market, you've got this much time to capture their attention. He's like, you got to think National Enquirer. He's like, this needs to be 3 or 4 words max. I'm like, crap, how am I going to do that? And this is what I did. I started coming over here and start looking at these. So I don't know how well you can see these. They're in your book too. But when you look at the headlines, these are awesome. Hillary Clinton adopts alien baby. Sarah Palin's dark secrets. John and Kate's $10 million divorce. Angelina walks in on Brad and Jen. Jamie Lynn pregnant again. Al Gore sex attack. Kim's a phony. Is JFK alive? Oprah, only 3 years to live. These are freaking good, huh? You think about the best copywriters on planet Earth work for the National Enquirer, you guys. It's one of the as sad as this is, one of the most highly read newspapers in the world. You guys realize that? I don't think there's any truth at all involved, but these headlines are amazing. And they're used when you're in the shopping, the stand with your grocery, you're walking through, they would grab your attention, be like, whoa, what? You got to put it in, right? Okay, that's what's happening every day on the internet. There's all this stuff happening. People are shopping, they're buying all this stuff, and you have to be so big and so bold and so fast to grab their attention that just like them walking down the aisle, they're like, whoa, what? Are you kidding me? They got to pull it in and bring it over, right? That's what we call these Inquirer interrupts. It's a pattern interrupt. We're taking people from the 1,000 emails they get a day, from the 2 million banner ads they see, from the 50,000 blogs they're surfing on, from Facebook reading, a million different things and images and all this stuff that's happening, and you have to just, boom, interrupt them. Okay, Shiloh was asking me yesterday, 2 days ago, say, how come all the ads are ugly and they have red and yellow on them? Like, because you've got to grab these people and pull them away. She's like, well, I want nice ads that are browns and yellows. Now, you can do that, okay? But that kind of stuff happens over here. That's when we shift from direct response, shock and awe, we got to grab these people in. After they're in the front door, they're on your list, now we switch to like a branding messaging, right? When you're branding, you can do the nice stuff, you can do longer headline, all these other things you can do. But initially, point of sale, we are grabbing somebody. We got to basically, they're walking by, we got to grab them by the shirt, yank them over here and say, boom, come buy my crap. And then we start the process, right? And after they like you, trust you, attractive character stuff, now we can switch to nice ads, to brands, all these other things. But initially, you got to think National Enquirer. That's how we suck people in initially, okay? Now, you want to see how this relates to internet marketing? So if you look over in your book, I got 3 or 4 pages. These are some of the highest converting banner ads right now running on the internet. And you'll see how these all look like National Enquirer type headlines. Okay, so when I started looking for our banner ads for our Neurocell product, I was looking at all these. These are tons of ones that I found that are really, really good. So let me read some of these to you. 70-year-old grandma looks 40. Dr. Oz, better than a facelift. Learn how to naturally boost your free testosterone levels. Eat this, never diet again. FEMA ban, this is the #1 item to hoard. Do mole and skin tag removal creams work? Really work, yes. Make powerful healing water. Do you know 7 survival secrets? This device has grocery stores panicked. Texas man exposes fraud. Do you know 7 survival secrets? Gun grabbers hate this. Man cheats credit score. One simple trick, my credit score jumped 217 points. Banks hate this. Do you have these symptoms? Do you trust Obama? 3 things that repel women. You see how good these are? Like, you're on a news site reading this thing, you see this banner ad, you're going to click on it, right? And that's what's funny. All the people that are running the nice professional ones, look at the companies that are running them. The companies like Allstate, like things like that, who have insane advertising budgets and they don't care if it works. They're just trying to be everywhere. Literally, one of my old employees got a job for this company down in Utah, and he's an ad buyer for them. And this is his job. Every single day or every single month, a client will give him $10,000, and the only thing they ask in return is they want to know back, how many impressions did you get me for that much money? That's it. They don't ask how many clicks, how many sales. They don't even care. All they care about is impressions. So that's what we're competing against. People are just buying crap. They don't care. They're getting paid just to get impressions. So literally, he's like, all I do is I just burn their money, because all they want, the only metric, the only KPI they have is how many impressions. Because in their mind, they're branding, right? They just want to put it out there everywhere. Those ones do not make money. I would be shocked if you found a single company that has a nice, beautifully designed banner that's working. Everybody I know who tracks their numbers to a T, this is what their banner ads look like. Okay? Yes? I'm talking about cold traffic who has no idea who you are. You're trying to grab them. After you've got them in your funnel, after they've joined your list, whatever that is, you shift the message. Now it switches to branding. For women, for us, for everything. Like if you look at our pages, typically, like, as ugly as they are, there's no branding, there's no nothing. We're trying to grab them, suck them in. And after we got them, now we shift to branding, because now I want to take that relationship to the next level. That's when we introduce attractive character, our sites look nice, the way we sell is different, use the funnel, all that stuff's different, because I agree. Because at that point, I'm not trying to grab them, I'm trying to build that relationship, and I want a warmer, better feel. So that's kind of I have a lot of conversations with people about that. They're like, well, I like doing branding sites I'd rather have a nice site that looks good versus one that converts really well, because I want my people to love me. I'm like, no, you need both of them. You need this one on the front to grab them, and then after you've got them, now you warm them up and change that relationship. That's my opinion. That's how we do ours, and that's what I know works. Okay, does that help? Hopefully. Yeah. So Similar Web. So when you go Similar Web and you have all this stuff, you scroll down. There'll be a section that says ads. And it says show banner ads. You click on that, and it'll show you all the ads they're running. And again, Similar Web, the free version only show you like 4 or 5 ads. If you use like what runs where, or if you use AdBeat, or even the paid version Similar Web, it'll show you a whole bunch more. And so these are ones that I pulled off that have been running for a long time, consistently, all those kind of things, where these ones all came from. So after we did all this, we started looking back and like, what's going to be our headline for Neurocell? And we tried a whole bunch of different things. I think the winner right now, our winning banner ad, simply says, weird nerve pain miracle. That's the headline. That's all it is. And then our image, we're always trying to find weird images, because weird images is what catch you. Notice on Facebook, the weird images are the ones you're like, what is that? A couple of things we found, like, if there's eyes looking at you, increases conversion rate. If you notice back here with National Enquirer, all these images, there's always eyeballs. Right? Something about eyeballs, we get sucked to them, right? It's like having eyes. The other thing that's working really good on Facebook and on banner ads is inverting images. So for example, we had this weird random picture of blueberries that had nothing to do with our product. We had it on there, and then we did the negative version of it, so it looks like, just looks weird. And that's done awesome. Like huge click-through rates. It says weird nerve pain miracle in this reverse. You know, talk about reverse, like the black and white back. Anyway, that shows that it just converts well. So half of it is these little quick headlines and half of these images. And the weirder the images, the better. Like this dude, where the 3 things that repel women. You got this guy showing his beard. Like, what is that? I don't know, but like you see that and you're like, what is that? Right? So the image doesn't necessarily have to be related as much. But it looks good. I mean, if you look at some of these images, I think these images are fantastic. Like this one right here, like breaking something, breaking something worse. First Obamacare, now there's something much worse planned. You got all these soldiers here in a video. I'm like, what the crap's about to happen, right? This one I think is really good. How celebrities get ripped in 2014. Big lady, skinny lady, you know, like the images are compelling. This one's awesome, dude. You know, 7 survival secrets. These guys in gas masks running, like anyway, I think they're really good. So what I'd recommend doing is you guys, when you're surfing around the internet, for me, whenever I'm on the internet, all I'm doing, like maybe I'm kind of this advertising junkie person. Like for example, outside the internet, like when I drive and listen to the radio, like I hate the songs. I love when the commercials come on. Like that's my favorite part. Watch TV, my wife tries to fast forward. I'm like, no, this is why we're watching TV. This is the best part, right? And this is how the internet should be for you as well. Like when you're surfing on blogs and stuff, like you can go read your articles, but the number one goal of doing anything is trying to find the banner ads on the sites. I have a file where every time I see a cool banner ad, I just copy and paste and I save it. I've got folders and folders, just tons and tons of banner ads, because I never know which one's going to inspire me for my next thing and my next weird thing, right? And what's the next headline? And so whenever you're on any of your favorite sites, just start looking at the banner ads and grab them. Start building your swipe file, those kind of things. The pattern interrupt that's happening here on the banner, typically on the squeeze page, not always, but the majority of the time, the squeeze page message is matching what's here on this banner ad, okay, or on the Facebook ad, wherever the ad is. So kind of like, if they see banner ads like 300-pound baby, see video, then they come over here and there's a thing saying, hey, 300-pound baby, give me your email address and I'll show you that video, okay? So I'm matching that. They're kind of going the same way. Yeah. The very first test, I make the headline exactly the same. And I might try to beat it, but for the most part, it's pretty similar. If that 300-pound baby was what got them to click, the next page better be about 300-pound baby, because that's what's going to get them to the next action. Just like email, when the subject line of the email says 300-pound baby, one thing we found that was interesting, this is actually really interesting. So, and you've probably noticed me do this in a lot of my emails sometimes. I don't always do it in my emails, my internal list, but when we're sending out, when we're buying email ads, we always do this. So here's the email, right? Here's like the subject line. Subject. What we found is you typically have your email right here, and then in the middle, there's like the blue link, and then there's like more email, and there's blue link, and then your email, right? And before we'd always be like, we just put the website URL here. So we'd be like, hey, I got this really cool thing, check it out here, ... and then www.russellschool.com, and then blah, 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 russellschool.com, right? We did it that way a lot of times. Sometimes we do like, we have something, and this link would say click here. We did that for a while. And what we tested a little while ago that beat everything is whatever the subject line was. So if the subject line is weird nerve pain miracle, which is our control right now for all of our nerve cell mail, the text on this link is weird nerve pain miracle. Okay, so it's congruency. They saw that right now and it got them to open, and they see that again and it gets them to click. Because I know it was good enough that it got them to open. And I changed that to the text of the link is the exact same as the text of the subject line, dramatically increased click-through rates. Okay, then we took the next step and we took that exact same thing and that became the headline of the landing page, increased opt-in rates. Okay, so we found out what was speaking to them, what was the most important thing. So this becomes the same as these, becomes the same as this. Now, in some situations, you probably could beat it, but by default, step one, I would just do it that way, and try to beat it from there. But step one, I would lead with that. It's kind of cool, huh? All right. Any questions about the pattern interrupt stuff there? Okay, the same pattern idea, the same thing we're doing on our Facebook ads. Think about the Facebook ads you guys click on. Like anytime you click on an ad, especially in Facebook, like right before you click stop, take a little screen capture of it, because if it caused you to want to click, that's a good sign it's probably a good ad. Every time I take an action, I'm like, wait, why did I do that? What gave me the emotional need for me to click on that thing? What was the reasoning? I love trying to figure that stuff out, and I'm like, how can I copy that? How can I do the same thing in my ads? Okay, so that's the very, very, very front of the value ladder script. Pre anything, we're just creating ads trying to get people to come over and click, right? Okay, so the next step now is after we got someone through the funnel, this is one of my lower end of the value ladder scripts, okay? I'm typically using this for if I want to have some kind of sales message on a squeeze page. Usually I just have a headline, but if I do have some kind of sales message on a squeeze page, this is the script I follow. If I'm doing a free plus shipping thing, this is the script I follow, okay? And that's about as far up as I go. If I'm selling something that's over free plus, I mean, you might be able to use this as well for like a $7 product, but if it gets more than that, I switch to the script we'll show you guys after lunch, okay? But anything of the bottom tier, this is the one that I use because it's quick, it's fast, and it gives me everything I need to have to be able to close a sale at a very, very low dollar amount, okay? I'll also use this a lot of times for webinar registration page, why they should register for webinar. So if I'm doing either trying to get them to opt in to register or buy a free plus shipping thing, this is the script, okay? And the script is very, very simple. It's the who, what, why, how. I'm going to answer these 4 questions. Okay, so question number 1, who am I? Question number 2 is what do I have? Question number 3 is why do you need it? And question number 4 is how do you get it? Okay, so this is how it works in the real world. In fact, this is how I did it on .com Secrets Labs. Hey, my name is Russell Brunson. Answer question number 1. Okay, question number 2. I got this really cool book I just created. It's called .com Secrets Labs. It's 108 proven split test winners. That's what I got. Okay, what are they? This book is so awesome. Like if you look through here, it's got split tests for all of my favorite split tests. It's got this and that. It's going to show you this part and this part. And this book literally put my heart and soul into it. And the reason why you need this, if you don't know what to split test, you don't know what to do or what the first step is, the second step, this book will give you a guide that you can just use and just copy my best split test. Just look at them, copy them, and make money. Like I'm just basically giving you a cheat sheet, and that's why you need this. Okay, there's my why. And then how. This is how you can get this book. It's not going to cost you anything, it's completely free, but I do need you to cover the shipping and handling. As you can see, this is a huge book, super awesome. But if you cover the shipping and handling, it's just going to be $10. I will ship this out to you for free. And right here on the side, there's a button. Click on that button and fill out the form, and then we'll ship this out to you. Boom, that's how they can get it. That easy? Okay. Free DVD, I would do the same thing. Free whatever, automated webinar. I got this webinar coming up. It's going to be awesome. This is why you need it. This is how you get it. Just register on the form on the side. So the how is like my call to action. Where am I telling them to go? Okay. So that's the core message. Now, the other amplifiers you can add on this, and I didn't realize this till when I was preparing this whole thing. I was looking at all of our front end things, and the core script I've always used when I create my videos is the who, what, why, how. But I realized in like the .com Secrets Labs, and you can see it really blatant, is I have that whole thing. That's the first message, and then at the bottom of it, I have 3 or 4 closes that I used. Okay, the first close was the catch, because everyone's wondering like, what's the catch? Okay, and so with this, basically, because there's no catch, I say, look, everyone's wondering what the catch is. There's no catch. I'm not charging you continuity. I'm not doing anything sneaky or whatever. I'm just trying to get one of my best products in your hand. Okay, I explain, if there's a catch, I got to explain what it is. If there's not a catch, explain that there's not a catch. And then you have to give them kind of a reason why, like a because. I can't remember which book. Someone here, I'm sure, will know what it is, but I think it might have been Cialdini's or someone's. But he was doing this study in a college. They had like a drinking fountain in the corner, and they had this huge line of people behind them, and everyone's getting in line, and they're taking these drinks, and they wanted to test. They just wanted to test like different psychology about how they could get people to do what they wanted. So they would do is they have these people go up in this huge line, and they have them cut in front of like the first person, and say like, hey, I need to cut in line. And they did all these tests for a long time, and what they found is that they came in and said, hey, I need to cut in line. People were like, no, get in the back. But if they gave somebody a reason, any kind of reason, just a because, hey, I need to cut in line because I got to go to the bathroom. They'd be like, all right. Didn't care. It didn't matter what the because was. Hey, I need to cut in line because I'm thirsty. Like, okay, cool. As long as you gave them a because, they're like, oh, okay, cool. And it was like, I can't remember the numbers. It was like 93% of the time that they used a because and to put anything after it, even if it was completely ridiculous or stupid, the person didn't say anything. But if they just said, I need to do this without giving me a reason why, because, then the people would say no almost every single time. So there's a power in that. So my catch is like, this is the catch, or there is no catch. And the reason why I'm doing this is because of this, okay? I want them to know, it's like, oh, cool, Russell's doing it just because he wants to be cool. Okay, or Russell's doing it because he wants to make more money off me in the back end. Whatever it is, like you can literally tell him like, my goal is to give you this, you're gonna fall in love with it, and then you're gonna buy something really expensive later on. They're like, oh, cool, that makes sense. As long as you give them a because, they're gonna be happy, right? So that's the first one. Second one, especially on these low ticket things, there has to be some kind of urgency. These are impulse sales, right? Like, here's this free book, it's gonna be here forever, buy it whenever you want. They're like, okay, cool, I'll come back. You've gotta have some kind of urgency. So for us, we print 1,000 of these at a time. So I'm like, hey, we print 1,000 at a time. The first shipment went out and we sold out in 2 weeks or 2 days. Second shipment we sold out in 3 days. We've got some right now. If this page is up, we got some open right now. I have no idea when they're gonna be gone, but when they're gone, they're gone. So click on the button now. Okay, automated webinar. This thing's happening this week. You got to do it right now. Okay, squeeze page. This is available right now, but it's not gonna be available forever. Some kind of urgency you have to tie because it's an impulse sell. And impulse sales, if you don't have that urgency, you don't take them. Yeah, don't lie. And I learned this from Armand Morin because I asked him because he speaks at like 80 events. And every single time he had this great urgency. And I'm like, how do you do urgency when you're speaking every week and you're selling the exact same thing? Like, will people catch on? And he said what he does is he tries to tie it to something that's intangible so that people don't, you know, with us, we're lucky because we are printing. That's the nice thing about the free plus shipping stuff is that you're printing in, and for us, we really do runs at a time. And so we can tie it to that. But if you don't have something like that, if it's digital or whatever else, what I learned from Armin that was awesome is that he'd always say, there's order forms in the back, and when they're gone, they're gone. When they're gone, they're gone. What does that mean? When they're gone, they're gone. But it gives you urgency without like lying, right? Like, I'm selling these books right now. When they're gone, you got to hurry. All right, when they're gone, they're gone. So that's what I use whenever I don't have something specific I can tie it to. It's just when they're gone, you better hurry. So it's very vague, but it works. Yeah, when they're gone, they're gone. I can't keep this online forever. When they're gone, they're gone. It's the because stuff, right? I need to get a drink because my wife is angry. All right, come on in. Someday I'm taking this offline because when they're gone, they're gone. All right, cool. Yeah, the FCC may shut me down. Did you guys ever, like, you guys know Kevin Trudeau? They finally got him after all these years. But I remember we were in Mexico, my wife and I, and we're watching his infomercial. Man, he is so good. Like, if you want to watch, like, the best salesman ever, I wish he would have used his powers for good because, man, he was the best salesman, I think, probably ever. I remember sitting there and watching this thing. His whole pitch is like, here's where the FTC shut me down here. Here's where the government shut me down here. They're coming after me. This infomercial's up right now, but they're trying to control the media, and I'm going to be pulled out any second now. And we're in Mexico at 3 in the morning watching this infomercial, and my wife is trying to figure out how to call on her cell phone back to her. Like, she's paying all these international fees to order the book. And I'm like, honey, like, how? This is what I do all day long. Like, you can't, like, anyway, it just made me laugh. But, like, that's like how good these kind of, that pitch is. Like, it's like the best pitch in the world. Like, hurry before the U.S. government finds out. All right. Urgency. Okay, guarantee. One thing I learned this from Jason Fladlin. I think it's really, really cool. He just makes weird guarantees that are crazy. And he's like, most people are like, I guarantee my product for 30 days, your money back. And they're so bland, it doesn't really do anything. And it's kind of like this whole pattern interrupt. Like, if you can do a pattern interrupt with your guarantee, it's a really cool thing. So what I saw Frank Kern do on the book, and so I kind of copied it for my free book, I thought was cool, is he said, like, it's free, it's $5 shipping handling, but if for whatever reason you don't like it, like, just let me know, and I'll still refund your shipping handling. You keep the book, and blah, blah, whatever it is. I thought that was really cool. I read this one guarantee the other day where the guy guaranteed if you implement it didn't work, he would eat a cockroach live and post a video on YouTube. Like, just weird stuff like that where you're just like, just a pattern interrupt so they understand there's a guarantee. Because most people just gloss through that. But the guarantee is really powerful. So guarantee, and then if you're doing it like the way we do ours, I'm sure you've seen them before. We usually have our video here, our call to action here, kind of our sales letter, which is usually. Let me see. So when I'm like the .com Secrets Labs, when the way it's structured is this video is the who, what, why, how. The copy down here, I had a bunch of bullet points to just kind of brag about everything that's in there. Then I went catch, urgency, guarantee, and then from Russell Brunson. And then the PS is like, hey, for all you guys who just scroll the bottom and want to know what the actual offer is, this is what it is again, and I recap the offer in like 2 sentences. So that's what the recap is. Because a lot of people are going to see this video, scroll to the bottom and look right here. So I just flat out say, look, for all you guys who are scrolling, this is what the offer is, and just call them out. So if you want to look at how we do at .com Secrets Labs, you guys can kind of just knock that off. But that's what the recap is. That's how we structure our pages for our free plus shipping stuff. Okay. And again, some of these things, like if I was in an automated webinar, you know, I'm probably not going to give a guarantee and a recap, stuff like that. Like, again, the core things is the who, what, why, how. The other ones on the bottom are things you can add to it depending on what you're selling, how you're selling, and stuff like that. Bottom value ladder, make crazy guarantees because we're trying to get people in the door. Okay, if someone signed up for $25,000 coaching package, I'm not guaranteeing nothing because if I spend my time, my energy, my effort, and they don't like it, like I'm not giving the money back that I spent all the time. So my guarantee shifts up as I move the value ladder, which is usually fine because again, they know you like it. Like if they see value here, here, and here, you kind of weeded out all your tire kickers and the people that are going to be garbage down lower, and the good people are up here. And so my guarantee changes. Like our guarantee now in high-end coaching, you got 3 days, right? You sign the contract, you got 3 days, and then it's done, right? And that's kind of how that's how most of you guys should structure things as well. Yeah, that's based on law. I think we have to do that. Yeah, you have 3 days in the contract. So our high expense. I mean, you guys know that paid expense stuff. You sign a contract, you got 3 days. And after that, it's done. So that's why initially, like if you look how we do it, you guys, as soon as you sign the contract, we send you something in email because that's officially when the clock starts. Coaching has begun. You've got the intake form. Boom, and the three-day clock kind of starts going. So, good questions. All right. Any other questions on who, what, why, how? If you guys are like need to make a sales video really, really fast, this is it. Get your iPhone out. Boom. Who, what, why, how, done. Put it up. Make some money really quick. It's just the fastest, easiest way to test something, get it out there. We use the script all the time, especially when we want to do something fast. Okay, the other ones I'm going to show you are really good, but it's going to take you a day, a week, a month to create the whole entire sales thing. This is one that's the fast, the easy. We pulled out of our pocket a couple times a week. When I'm doing a webinar, or I'm doing an email, I use this. I use all sorts of different parts in my thing. I think John Carlton was the one who first showed me that process, who, what, why, how. And we've been using it for 5 or 6 years, and it's awesome. All right, so what we're going to do is, right now, we're going to shift to the top of the value ladder. I'm going to let Robbie come in. I'm going to switch microphones. But while he's kind of coming up here, kind of a backstory. When we first started our call center, we had our, I think at the time, when we first came, we had, like 5, maybe 10 guys? 4 or 5 people. Robbie came up from Utah and started working with us and helped us take it from 4 or 5 people up to 60 people. It just was amazing. And then we shut the call center down. We kind of left, and I didn't see Robbie for a couple years. And then when we kind of decided to bring it back in a different format, in a very small format, we built it out. And most of you guys met Troy and Kimberly yesterday. They were kind of the initial guinea pigs, and they spent a month or so kind of testing things out and trying things. I think in the first month, I think they made 1 sale. And I was like, man, this sucks. Like we spent so much energy and effort building out a funnel and driving traffic and everything, and just it didn't make any money. And so we literally were like a day away from like pulling the plug. And I called up Robbie and I was like, hey man, do you mind like just coming into the office and just like looking to see what they're doing is right and just kind of, I don't know, just look at it. And like a good salesman's Robbie like, yeah, I could definitely do that. It's only going to cost you, boom, and drop some crazy number. I was like, come on, man, we're friends. He's like, yeah, but that's how it works. So I'm like, all right. So wrote him a check. He came in on Friday. Came in on Friday. Sat down with Troy and Kimberly, spent 4 hours with them going through the script, going through the process, doing a couple role plays, and then he left. That was Friday. The next morning, Troy and Kimberly came in. It was a Saturday. They picked up the phone, and within 3-hour period of time, they sold $36,000 worth of coaching. And then I called Robbie back up, and he said, man, that was the cheapest money you ever spent. He's like, you should be paying me more for this stuff. And he was right. And then he came back like 2 weeks later, just more training with them. And literally from that one little 4-hour session was able to take our guys from making almost nothing to averaging $30,000, $40,000 a week. And then after a little while, he saw what they were doing, and he asked me to come back, and we're happy to have him. He's come back, and most of you guys probably talked to him at one point, but it's helped take our high-end sales process from I think we'd closed one $25,000 sale ever to right now we're averaging about 2 a week, plus a bunch of $8,000 and $15,000 sales as well. It's been blowing up. And right now we're doing net sales. We're netting more with 2 people or with 3 people right now than we were with 60 people before. And it's all kind of through this process he's going to be walking us through. So he's going to walk you through the 2-set script that he uses. He's awesome, one of the best salesperson I've ever met, and excited to have him here. So everyone, let's give a round of applause for Robbie Summers.
Wow, guys, that's kind of a lot to live up to. I appreciate Russell, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys. There's a couple of things that I really want to express to the people in this room. Most of you I have spoken to on one level or another, and most of you on one level or another have trusted me with your time, trusted me with your money, and I want to express my gratitude, my thanks to you, because without that, we wouldn't be here, without you guys doing this and wanting to build and grow your businesses. And so I appreciate that and thank you very much. The next thing that I want to do is, how many of you guys want to know how to take your $300 buyer, your $10 buyer, and turn them into a $25,000 sale? Is there anybody here interested in that? Okay, all righty. Let me, just because Russell likes the stick figures, I'm going to I'm going to just give you guys a quick little demonstration on why and how this works. If I've got my stick figure here, and if I asked you guys, if I was to put on my stick figure, what part of the body does emotion come from? The heart. Okay. So I've got my heart right here. Okay. And what part of the body does my logic come from? My brain, right? Okay. Where do you guys keep your wallets? Where do you keep them? You back pocket, side pocket, right? Like so let's say down here, I got my wallet, right? Which one's closer to my wallet? Is my emotion or my logic closer? Okay. And so the thing that we have to do with this, Russell told me, hey, Robbie, I want you to take, your 20 years of experience, your 20 years of knowledge, compress it into 30 minutes, and teach these guys everything that you know. And if I could just very, very quickly, the most important thing with doing a high-ticket sale is making sure that the people understand the emotion. Now, you got to have the logic there too. You can't have empty air. You can't have an empty product. The script process that we go over, it generally takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to go through the whole process. And unless your mic, one tempo, it took about 20 minutes. But that was because Russell set that one up. Okay, but the whole script process, within about the first 5 to 15 minutes of every single person that I have talked to in this room, 5 to 15 minutes, I know and understand that you guys were going to be sitting in this room, that you guys are going to be a buyer, that at the end of our conversation, that we're going to have a purchase, we're going to have a sale. And the reason is because of the emotion that we draw out of people. And the reason that we can draw the emotion out is because Russell's got the right funnel done, it's set up, but I could take all the time in the world and I could go through everything with the set script, everything with the closed script, and you guys all have access to that in the black box coaching area. It's all there. But the very, very most important thing, even when we get to finding credit, I was talking to, what was your name in the back? Yes, I was talking to Natasha on Thursday. Kimberly and I were talking to her, and Natasha said, "You ask people how much they have available on their credit cards? Are you serious? I would never, ever do that." And the reason that you can find those questions out, the reason that you can get those things answered, is because the emotion is built with the people that we're talking to. And I'm going to show you an example, and I need a guinea pig, okay? Would you come up here, please? What's your name?
Bonnie.
Bonnie. Bonnie, I want you to imagine for just a moment, okay? You've gone through the process. You have bought 108 split test secrets from Russell, okay? And the next step in the process is they fill out an application with the opportunity to personally work with Russell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 minutes and Bonnie and I are going to role play what would happen in that 5 minutes with our conversation. Ring, ring. Hey, Bonnie, this is Robbie with Russell Brunson's office. I got your application here, and I understand that you're interested in working with Russell Brunson. Is that right?
I don't know that I said that.
But Bonnie, did you fill out an application?
I guess I
Remember doing
did. I forgot. I must have been busy on Facebook and I forgot. Sorry.
No problem, Bonnie. That happens all the time. Bonnie, as far as working with Russell Brunson and building your business, why are you interested in working with Russell?
Well, I listened to his webinar and it just was really clear to me that he really knew what he was talking about. Just some subtle distinctions he said that just pulled it all together for me in a big way. And I guess if that's what he's offering for free, I was just curious, like what, working with him one-on-one could do for me.
Sure, and that'd be pretty incredible to be able to work with him one-on-one, wouldn't it, Bonnie?
It really would be.
Bonnie, tell me a little bit about your business.
So I'm starting to launch a business. It's basically my first course, and I'm teaching entrepreneurs how to outsource their weaknesses and the things that they hate to do so they can focus on building a life and a business that they love. And guess what happens? They make more money.
So you're trying to build that and you're trying to create that for other entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome, Bonnie. I love that. Bonnie, as far as building this business, why do you want to build this business? What are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? Bonnie, are you working a full-time job right now?
I'm not.
Okay, what's your purpose behind building and growing this business?
So my purpose behind doing this is that I want to use this as a platform for creating my first product launch to get me better known in the space, utilize expertise that I have, and then ultimately probably pivot towards helping people have a better life on a day-to-day basis. So more personal development stuff, more enjoying your life more. But this product launch is initially just going to be a platform for me to become known, make money, utilize my expertise, et cetera.
So Bonnie, you want to use this to build your brand. You want to build you, right?
Yes, I do.
That is awesome. Bonnie, why is it so important for you to help out other people and let them know the same things you know?
It's really important for me because that's what I'm passionate about. I really care about people and I really want to help people be happier because I'm one of those really weird emotional people that feels people's emotions, and when people are happy, I'm happy. So it's kind of like a selfish move on my part.
Bonnie, have you worked with people before and done some of this entrepreneur coaching, even like on a personal level?
So I haven't formally coached anyone.
What about informally?
Informally, yeah, actually. So informally, I've worked with a life coach before, and then I've also worked with some high-level entrepreneurs who have walked me through and mentored me through my business.
Bonnie, what happened when you worked with those life coaches, when you worked with them? How did that benefit you?
So one of my my coaches is someone who has built hundreds of millions of dollars online, and just simple conversations with him helped me get such huge insights in such a short amount of time. I feel like it saves me years of trial and error, which is just so important.
Now, and you want to be able to do that with other people?
I would love, ultimately that would be great.
So that's kind of your goal, kind of your vision, is to take those people that and do the same things that have happened to you, to be able to do that and help out other people?
Yeah, that would be great.
Is there anybody in particular you're wanting to help?
In terms of my target audience, or do I like some people better than others?
Target audience, or do you have somebody in mind that you want to help?
Yeah, for the initial product launch, I think that consultants and speakers and people who are really great with the in-person stuff but less good with the technical parts would be an ideal fit.
Okay, so people that need some help and walking them through that, great. Bonnie, let me explain to you what we're doing, okay? You're gonna have the opportunity to work, if you qualify for this program, directly with Russell Brunson. Mm-hmm. Okay, Bonnie, do you think Russell can help you to build and grow your business?
Yeah, that's really clear to me, yeah.
Why is it?
Why do I think he can help me? Well, because he's obviously at a much higher level than I am, and so he's already had the bruises, the scrapes, the mistakes himself, and so I might come up with an idea and really not be sure of it, but it's always just so helpful when you have someone who's like, oh, actually, even though that seems like it's going to work, it totally won't. And by the way, you need to make sure you have more than one merchant account.
Okay, so there's a lot of things that he might be able to tell you, a lot of things that he might be able to teach you then, right?
Yeah.
Bonnie, if you had that opportunity to work with Russell Brunson directly, and he could teach and train you those things, how many people do you think you could reach?
I mean, I think I would be able to reach probably 10x. I don't know an exact number, but probably 10x what I would be able to do on my own, for sure. And a lot faster, which would be great.
What would that do for you and for your business?
I mean, that would be awesome because then I could spend more time like living my message and having an even more fun, better life myself. And that would be amazing and help light me up, which I feel like I could shift back to my audience, which is great.
So, and Bonnie, tell me about this life that you want to live.
What do you want to know exactly?
Tell me about this life you want to live, Bonnie.
Okay, what do you want to know about it?
When you say there's things that you want to do, is it traveling? Is it spending time with kids? Is it a new house, a car? What is it with this life that you want to live?
Okay, so my ideal life is that I get to like take lots of classes all the time and learn about all sorts of fun things and then relay that back to people and teach them how, like, be sort of like the female Tim Ferriss who learns things really quickly. And then it's like, oh, hey, you want to hack like how to act really quickly or act secure or be more confident? Here's what I learned in my life experiments. And so that would be like my ideal life. But that I feel like is further down the line because I kind of need to, do some things that are a little more strategic first.
You got to build the blocks first, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But your ideal vision, your ideal goal, the thing that would just make you the happiest person in the world is if you could just be out learning and then teaching other people that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Bonnie, if you had the opportunity to work with Russell Brunson, do you think Russell could help you to learn more and to be able to teach more people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Bonnie. That's it. Okay. Now, let's give Bonnie a round of applause. Okay. There's a couple of things, and if I was actually on a call, I would have addressed a couple of other things with Bonnie. The whole purpose, the whole premise of what I wanted to do is I've got to find out what motivates Bonnie. And Bonnie took a little bit of time to tell me what motivates Bonnie. I had to go through a couple things. I had to find out. I had to dig a little bit. But until I know emotionally what's going to cause Bonnie wants to learn. She wants to teach other people the things that she's passionate about. Other people, David, where's David? David Eyes, there's David. David wants to backpack. He wants to travel the country. Other people want RVs. They want to spend more time with their kids. They want to secure their retirement. They want to do those things. And it doesn't matter what I'm selling people once I've created that emotion and I logically bridge that gap to help them to accomplish it. So the gap for Bonnie is she knows she's a lot of steps away from being able to be successful with her coaching business. And she also knows that Russell is over here and he knows how to market, he knows how to drive and build and grow a business. And if I can marry the two, if I can bridge those two things together, all of a sudden I give Bonnie the opportunity to reach her goals, her dreams, her successes, everything that she wants and needs to know in life. Now, Bonnie, if you thought there was that much of a chance, just the smallest, slightest chance that I could help you to sit in classrooms, to sit in meetings like this and learn for the rest of your life, would you probably tell me anything that I wanted to know to help you build and grow your business? So instead of this much, you need this much? Oh, okay. Well, I'll take this much. Okay. The process behind this is you have to, number one, you have to have a passion and a love for people. As you guys talk to me and as you guys have seen me, I sat down at lunch with a bunch of you, and the most important thing is that you're smiling, that you resonate that emotion with people. And as you resonate that emotion with people, guess what happens? They feel it, they get excited, they want to be a part of it. And you can do that very quickly, very easily on the telephone with your voice inflections, the ups and the downs. those types of things, as that happens, as it takes place on the telephone, that you have the ability to let people become emotional. When I sit down and I talk with somebody about what would it feel like to you to be able to coach your kid's soccer team next year because you're working 80 hours a week? What would it feel like to be able to get your kid a college scholarship? What would that mean for you? How would that make a difference? What would that do for you? What would it feel like to have, for the network marketers, continual passive residual income coming in and month out for the rest of your life? What would happen? What would change? All of a sudden that emotion gets pulled out of people. If it's a doctor, what would happen if you didn't have to spend 80 hours a week at your practice? What would you do with your free time? How would your life change? If you're in financial planning, what would happen if you didn't have to spend all day long every day looking for leads? How would that change your business? How would that be different? And as you do that, and you talk to the people about their businesses, where they're at in life, it gives them the opportunity to see and understand that we have the ability to be able to help them. And it doesn't matter what your niche is. It doesn't matter if you're the traveling back, the business backman entrepreneur. It doesn't matter if you're financial services. It doesn't matter if you're selling dogs or coaching people to be NBA stars. It doesn't matter, because everybody has their hopes, their goals, and their dreams. And if I sit down and I take the time to really care about the people that I'm talking to, and I really want to get to know who they are and how we can help them, all of a sudden, if I'm at this point and there's that much of a belief in who it is that we are, what it is that we're doing, all of a sudden it becomes very, very easy to take them through the rest of the process. It takes some time to build that rapport. It takes some time to build that emotion. But once I've got that emotion built, Bonnie's going to go through the rest of the process. And maybe right now at this point, Bonnie's not ready to pull out her credit card and give me $25,000. But right now, Bonnie is emotionally tied into working with Russell Brunson. I brought it back into Russell. I brought it back into whatever your product is. And as I bring it back into them, as I tie it back into them, I have the ability to logically explain to you how you're working with me, how you're working with us, what our membership site looks like, how we're going to help you to drive traffic in. It's all about creating that emotion. Once you get to the point that you've got this introduction mastered, okay? Again, it's in your black box coaching. Once you get to the point that you get that emotion out of people, all you need past that is somebody with about a 4th grade reading level. Because all the rest of it, the scripts are there. It's very, very, and you customize it to your product, you customize it to what, we find out where people are at, how much money they have, and then we find the best fit to help them to achieve and accomplish their goals. It's very, very simple to do if the funnel is set up correctly. Are there any questions? Does anybody have, Russell told me I had 30 minutes to take 20 years worth of experience and compress it down. If I could give you guys one piece of advice, get to know the people, find out who they are, create that emotion, and then just back it up with logic. The other thing with your call center, with your high ticket sales, the entrepreneurs, you guys, do not be the guys that are on the phone selling. Worst thing in the world you guys can do. Take that out of your mind, get it out of your heads, find people, and we talk about it in High Ticket Secrets it's in the Black Box Coaching, teaches you how to find the right person, how to walk through that process, find people. Do not be the person on the other end of the line. You're too emotionally attached to your product. You're too emotionally attached to what's going on, and all of a sudden, you start talking about all these things that have all this logic, all these reasons why people need to buy, and all the reasons that people need to buy are down here. That's why people buy to be able to take classes for the rest of their lives. People buy because they want to get out of debt. People buy because they want to secure their retirement. People buy because they don't want to work 80 hours a week. People buy because they want to be absentee owners. That's why people buy, and that's where you create that emotion there. What questions do you guys have in regards to the back end, the funnel, anything? Simon? You know what, Simon, that's a great question. And you know what, I'm not the expert here. Okay, that's my program director's role. And what you need to do, first of all, is you need to qualify through me. If you qualify through me, my director is going to answer all those kind of questions for you. He'll go through all the nuts and bolts. And it doesn't matter. I set people, I close people. We'll flip them back and forth all day long, okay? Because for the particular person that we're closing, Kimberly or Troy might become the program director. I might be the program director. It's going through that funnel. It's going through that process. And if I'm setting somebody, okay, I could go through and answer any question that anybody's going to throw out to me about the business, about how things work. I answer the exact same way. Simon, that's a great question. Write it down. If you qualify through me, my program director will answer all those questions. Does that make sense? Mike, we have 3 people that work with us, and the whole reason that we do is that, gosh, one of us might be at the lunch, we might have the day off, we still need to function, we still need to work together. So we have 3 people in one little office, and it allows us, I mean, just to give you guys an example, it allows us to be able to get to the point where consistently, week in, week out, that we can bring in $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in revenue for the business at about a 70-75% profit margin for you guys. Okay, and you guys do the number. I mean, gosh, you guys have the ability to put that in your pocket. That's the whole value behind the high ticket sales. Is if the funnel is created correctly, it allows you to be able to put that in your pocket. Simon. For me, when I get my leads, okay, I have the application, and I don't ever read anybody's application. Okay, and you guys are laughing. You guys are like, gosh dang it, I filled out that stupid application, and Robbie didn't even look at it. Okay, Mark. Okay, let me explain to you why. Okay, the reason that I don't read the applications is because I don't want to prejudge anybody. If you guys knew how many people that we have brought into our programs that we have worked with, that on their applications, they said they have 0 marketing budget. 0. They don't have a budget. That's one of the questions on our application. For a lot of salespeople, what are they going to do with that? Oh, that lead, it's no good. A lot of people don't understand and don't realize that they have the ability to use their credit to build and grow a business, especially if you're dealing with people that aren't entrepreneurs, aren't business people. And a lot of the spaces a lot of you guys are working in, you're dealing with people that are either biz op or they're not people that are normally accustomed to making large purchases, things like that. A lot of people don't, in the back of their mind, think, gosh, I could use and I could leverage my credit short term, because if you get my kid a scholarship to play basketball, how much money does that save me over 4 years? Hundreds of thousands. And how much are you asking for how much are you asking for your top level? What's your top level? $2K. I am not a mathematician, okay? That seems like a better deal, right? $100,000 worth of student loans or $2K on a credit card, okay? Most people don't understand, they don't realize that their credit is a tool that they can utilize. And so we talk about that in the scripts, and you'll look at that, you know, as we go through Probe, Finding Credit, we talk about how credit works and how most entrepreneurs, you use the example of a real estate, a real estate investor, they don't go out and put $200,000 into a home. They use the bank's money. They use it short term. They turn around, they put a renter in it. The renter pays the loan off. They've used the bank's money instead of theirs. Your credit's the same thing. Most people don't mentally walk through that process. And there's probably a lot of you guys in here that are saying, yeah, duh, Robbie. Of course my credit is a leveraging tool. The people that most of you guys are talking to don't understand that, don't realize it. It is something that you have to sit down, you have to explain to them. And and you've got to tie it back into some of this logic up here. That's where that comes in later on down the road with the script. Just takes a minute to be able to do it. I don't read the applications. I think you have some good questions on there, and I don't want to say it to offend anybody who took a lot of time to fill out the application. I would much rather take the time to hear you, to talk to you, to develop a relationship with you, than read a piece of paper. Because I don't want to prejudge you, I don't want to pre-frame you, I want to know who it is that I'm talking to. And the best way for me to do that is to be on the phone, talk to you face to face. That's what allows me to be able to do that. That answer your question? I can come back to it and revisit it, but I don't want to talk to people that filled out an application 2 weeks ago. If you filled out an application, do you know the very best thing to have happen? If you filled out an application, the next step is call this number. If you want to talk to somebody, if you can't wait for somebody to call you, call this number. Okay, that's the next step in our process. I want to be talking to you as quickly as possible. Every single day, I come into the office 8:30 in the morning. And the very first thing that I do is I print off all the leads that we have that came in from the applications the day before. And the first thing that we do is we jump on those leads. If I let you sit for 2 weeks without making any contact, without trying, without doing anything at all, that lead's become so cold at this point. If I can get you within 24, 48 hours, I have the ability to immediately spark that. Hey, what are you looking to do with your kid? Why do you want him to go to a Big Ten school? Why do you want this? You start asking them those things, it's going to build that emotion right away. I do. My personal favorite is, are you going to put that on your Visa card? It should start with a 4. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Hey, as we talked about before, we're going to leverage this on a line of credit. Looking at the notes here that Troy has taken on you, it looks like probably your Visa card is going to be the best. It should start with a 4. How does your name appear on that? Now all of a sudden, because how often? How many of you guys have a middle initial on your credit cards? A lot of people. Hey, you know what? I don't know if I have it on. Let me pull up my credit. Great. Now, so I haven't asked them. Okay. I haven't asked them what's your credit card number, but you pulled your credit card out. It's sitting right in front of you. You're reading me your credit card, and do you know what happens at that point? I just become an order taker. Great. What's the expiration date? What's the CVV code? Okay. Read me the card number 4 digits at a time. It's a Visa card. It should start with the 4. I'll read them back to you. Just very, very simple, very systematically. That allows you to be able to do that. Everybody that comes into our program deals with Russell, Brent, and John. And if I've got somebody on the phone that is a complete pain in the neck for me, how pleasant are they going to be for Russell? Is Russell, and we go through some very specific qualifying questions. They've got to have the time. Guys, we don't magically build your stuff out for you. Okay? You've got to do the work, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the effort, you got to do the things that we teach you and train you how to do. If somebody doesn't have the time to put in, and they're adamant about it, everybody has the time. There's other reasons, but if they're adamant about not having time, I'm not going to bring somebody aboard the team. If I don't feel like somebody's coachable and teachable in my call with them, and I know in 2 weeks that person's going to be talking to Russell, Russell doesn't get mad. Like I've known Russell for like 8 years. He doesn't get mad. If Russell comes in and says, Robbie, why'd you sell that person? You know how dumb I feel? And it doesn't happen, but I've got to make sure that people are coachable, that they're teachable, that they believe in what I'm selling. Okay, and all those things, they're all part of the script. It's all in there. You just got to have somebody just read through it. It's all there in the black box coaching. Simon, this is your last one. Because it's my job as the program director, as the closer, to make sure that I'm bringing the right people aboard the team. You know, when the wrong person comes aboard the team and I set the deal, and Russell comes to me because I oversee the call center. Russell comes to me and he goes, Robbie, why'd you bring this person? Hey, you know what? You better go talk to Troy. Troy, you better go talk. Kimberly closed it. Okay. So it's my job, my role to determine whether or not somebody is qualified for Russell's team, for Russell's program. You have to buy into, your salespeople have to buy into, this is a team. You know, I played a lot of football. I played some semi-pro football, and I played D-line. Okay, I wasn't a pretty boy. I didn't, you know, I never fit that role. Okay, I didn't throw the ball or catch it. If I missed the guy coming through my gap, and my linebacker gets him, he doesn't come up to me and say, Robbie, why do you suck? Why'd you miss that? Okay, I missed it. I got blocked out. So something happened. That did never happen. I get blocked out. But if I would have got blocked out, okay, that all of a sudden, okay, that it's that team dynamic, that team atmosphere, and that's why with your salespeople, you really want them. Russell talked about it. Chet Holmes talks about it. One of the questions that I ask them all the time, and it sounds so funny because I feel like I'm cousin Rico or Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. Hey, what'd you do in high school? Okay, and not that I want to relive their high school experience, but I want to make sure that I've got somebody that knows how to work hard, that excelled in a sport, that was passionate, that understood how to work on a team. I want that atmosphere. I'm looking for those things with my sales guys every single time. And it doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, chess club, debate team. I don't care what they did. I want something that they excelled in, that they know and understand how to excel, how to do it well, because that gives me that great person to build and grow a team with. All righty. Did I take more than 30 minutes, Russell? Okay. If any of you guys have any other questions, feel free to grab me. I've got to cut out, but guys, it really is. It's a pleasure to be working with you. I'm so excited. And again, thank you for trusting me, trusting our team with your dreams, your goals, your passions, your emotions. We want and will help you to reach them. Thanks, guys.
Do you guys like Robbie stuff? Yeah. It's kind of good. I know he was touching upon the surface and wanted to go deeper, but those of you guys who are inside the inner circle, you know that you have access to the high ticket secrets training, which is where Robbie goes into excruciating detail of that. He has videos that actually train your salespeople. He shows you how to hire people. He goes through the entire script, the set script, the close script, everything else. So we want to more get you guys excited and passionate about that part of it. And obviously we can spend 2 days just on that part alone. So, all right. And so that's kind of so far you guys have seen kind of how we sell people on the front of the value ladder and now how we sell them on the back of the value ladder. Now we're going to be doing all the stuff in between, okay? And so the first thing I want to walk you guys through is kind of our structure for how we write our sales letters. So anything that we're selling from $17 up to $97 or so, this is the script and this is the process we take somebody through, okay? So kind of the beginning to middle of the value ladder. Now, the first time I first learned this concept, probably 8 or 9 years ago, I had a chance to interview a guy named Vincent James. Anyone heard that interview here? David Eisner actually has the interview in his backpack. He showed me yesterday. We sold on these little MP3 players, free plus shipping, and he still has the MP3 player. So Vince was amazing. He's a 28-year-old kid. He's older now, but at the time he was 28 years old. And one day he was trying to figure out how to make some money. He was in his mom's basement. He had a big pen, a pad of paper. He wrote a 4-page sales letter with his pen, put it in the envelope, mailed it out, tripled over on the front end, and 18 months later had made $100 million selling a product. And just anyway, so I had a chance to interview this guy for 6 hours. He told me everything. It was like one of the coolest things. And if you listen to the interview, it was like my first interview ever. I'm scared to death. I'm like a little tiny kid, like asking this dude that made $100 million all these questions. And he was gracious enough to let me talk to him for 6 hours, going through everything. And it was really, really cool just to kind of hear and see what he did and everything. But one of the big ahas I had from him was when he was talking about how he writes his sales letters. And he said that every single sales letter I write follows three distinct parts. He said, I focus on a star, a story, and a solution. Okay, star, story, solution. So you'll see as I go through this, I'm going to break it down into those three things. But the first screen here, the first picture is star, next is story and solution. Okay. So the star in this sales video or sales letter, whatever you want to call it, is obviously the attractive character, right? The story is the story behind this character and what happened to them that brought them to the solution, which is your product. So that's kind of the hierarchy of here's the hierarchy of what a sales letter looks like. Okay. And so that's what I've wrote all of my sales letter for the last 10 years or so. Is kind of based on that pattern, the star, story, solution. And I never had more guidance really than that. And I just kind of sit down, and it took me years to get better and better and better at it. And eventually, I just kind of had this process that we do whenever we write copy. And because of this event and because of the book and because of everything, I've tried to break down and see what I do and why I do it and what other people do and why they do it and try to figure it out. And based on 3 or 4 days of just dissecting as much copy and as much successful ads as possible, I was able to break it down into these steps. And so I'm really excited to kind of go through it because this is the process that most of our sales letters and sales videos follow almost to a T. Now sometimes there's deviation, sometimes we change things or move things, we don't have everything, but as a whole this is the pretty close pattern. And so I would recommend this for any of you guys trying to write a sales letter. Use this as your initial control. And if you want to tweak things or change things a little bit, you can, but the process works. Okay? All right, so I'm going to kind of go through this. So again, the first is the star. Now, the very first thing, again, we talked about this a lot throughout this week so far, is that people are in their patterns, right? They're doing their thing over and over and over again, and we've got to figure out how to interrupt their pattern. Okay? That's the first key. And so any good video's got some kind of pattern interrupt at the very beginning to get them to kind of like, oh, what is this? One of the ones that, I don't know if Agora Publishing was the first one to do it, but they're the first one I saw do it on a big, huge scale, is you come to their sales video, and the first is like this big red screen, and it's like, warning, this is controversial, da da da, and like, this video may be taken down at any time. It feels like one of those like warning screens, like you just walked in the wrong room or you did something wrong, right? It's like, and it's huge pattern interrupt. Like people are like, whoa, what just happened? You know, and it grabs you, a big pattern interrupt. Sometimes you pattern interrupt with a headline. Sometimes, if you ever seen how John Benson writes his sales videos, they're always like, here's a picture of a goldfish. What do you think this goldfish has to do with you being fat? Let me show you. It's always these weird things. You're like, what, a goldfish? And I've seen like 8,000 people knock it off. Like one's like, hey, this is a starfish. What do you think a starfish has to do with you not getting chicks? Hey, this is and like everyone's got like this weird thing, right? And so that's one way to do pattern interrupts. But usually every good video has got to have some kind of pattern interrupt just to get somebody to be like, whoa, this is different. I need to pay attention to this. Okay? And again, as you can think of a million different ones, but as you're watching other people's videos, look at how they do that. Watch how they do their pattern interrupts initially because they give you ideas for things you can tweak and test and try out on yours. Okay? The first is pattern interrupt. Now for me, the second thing I switched to initially is the core desires. Okay? Which is very similar to like the primary question. Like what are my audience's core desires? And I want to ask them questions about that. Okay? I want to get them doing what? Trial closing it. I'm getting them to start nodding their head. Okay? So for our .com Secrets X one, here are my core desire questions. I've got a quick question for you. If you notice like 90% of my videos all start with, I've got a quick question for you. I don't know, that's just like my style. I always do that way. I love it. It's just like, for me, the best way to start a message. So that's the way I do it. Have you ever wanted to work from home, own your own business? Come on, you know you want the lifestyle, the one that everyone talks about, where you can work from home in your underwear or the beach with a laptop. Okay, so I'm asking these initial questions. Okay, if I was in weight loss space, it'd be something like, let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at that really good-looking girl walk down the street, and you're wondering why in the world she's got a six-pack and you're overweight, or whatever it is, right? Or for the guy, like, have you ever, like, the Truth About Abs, his kind of initial thing he's talking about. When I was growing up, I was like this kid who I used to go to the locker room and see all these people with their six-packs, and I never had one, and I was always jealous. Okay, and he started asking questions like, do you ever feel like that? Do you wish you had a six-pack? Okay, so I'm always looking for those kind of questions initially, because I want them saying, yeah, I wish I had a six-pack. Yeah, I wish I had some more money. Yeah, I wish, whatever that thing that their primary question, their core desire, what is that thing? I want to start asking questions to get them saying, yeah, that's the issue I have. Yeah, that's the problem I have. That's the thing I want to solve. Okay? So that's the second place I'm going is core desire questions. Now after that, I like to kind of start jabbing at them a little bit because every internet marketing video out there in any niche is always like promising the world, right? So I want to show that I'm different, and I do that by agitating their past failures. It's kind of like showing them like, you've probably tried this before, right? It didn't work. So if you look at our .com Secrets video, again, the example in the book says, so why hasn't this happened for you yet? Come on, admit it. This isn't the first time you've been looking for a proven way to make money, is it? When is it your turn? Okay, this isn't the first time you tried to lose weight, is it? This isn't the first time you tried to stop your pornography addiction, is it? This is not the first time you tried to make money in your network marketing program, is it? No, it's not. Okay, my guess is that most of your customers who come to you, it's not the first time they've tried what they're trying to do. Okay, this is a recurring thing. They've bought things before in the past. And so by calling them out on that, it makes them kind of think, it kind of sets you aside like, wow, maybe this is different. Because he's not just being like, you know, most guys try to like act like their thing is the greatest thing in the world. And yours is, and it can be. But what's powerful and important is that you're identifying, like, you've probably tried other stuff. This isn't the first time you're here. I get that, you get that. But let me show you what we've got to, how we can help you accomplish the thing you're trying to do, right? So I was going to agitate past failures, and now I start switching over to what's the big problem? What's the one thing, okay? The entire core message of my sales letter, what's the one core thing I'm trying to do, okay? Every sales letter, every sales video, every webinar, everything's got one core thing that you got to focus on, okay? Especially like, and I'll talk about this more in the webinar section, but you have one core thing and everything else is built around justifying, improving, and making that one thing true, okay? So for .com Secrets X, our one core thing was list building. So that's what I introduced. Like, I'm going to show you guys a way that you can blah, 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 blah. Like, something about list building. Like, what's your big hook, your big promise, the one big thing that they're going to learn from this video, from your course, from your everything, okay? So this is kind of where you're first pitching and first plugging your one thing we've been talking about all week, okay? One big thing. And then after that, so after I made this big promise, this is what you're going to learn, I say, hey, my name is Russell Brunson, and I want to welcome you to my website, whatever it is. This is where you start introducing yourself, okay? And typically, you're introducing yourself as an attractive character. So you'll see on the next slide, we start shifting to backstory. So usually what I'll say is, hey, my name is Russell Brunson, and 3 years ago, I was exactly like you, okay? This is kind of come back to the reluctant hero. You don't have to do reluctant hero here. You can do whatever character makes sense for you. I usually go immediate reluctant hero here just because reluctant hero is the one I think that most people emphasize, you know the word, empathize. It's a TH, not a P or an S. That's a hard one. That's the one that most people empathize with the most, so that's one I like to lead with initially, okay? And so that's where I'm introducing an attractive character, and that's the beginning. Okay, now typically this is probably the first maybe minute and a half of my video. Okay, I'm introducing the star, and the biggest mistake I see a lot of people do is they start the video with, hey, my name is Russell Brunson, and I want to blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're not the most exciting thing in the video, okay? We all think we are. That's why 99% of the videos I see out there, everyone's starting with introducing themselves, but you don't want to do that yet, okay? You want to take them through this process first. Pattern interrupt, ask them the core desire questions, agitate some of their past failures, the past attempts at fixing this problem, introduce the one big thing you're going to give them, and now introduce yourself. Okay? Now they're on a good stage. This is the pre-frame. This is the equivalent of me meeting a girl and having her friend introduce me because it's pre-framing me and preparing me so that when I come into the story and say, hey, my name's Russell Brunson, now they care. Here's the value ladder, right? So while the ideal place to take somebody through is initially through here and send them up, sometimes people come directly here. Okay? John runs ads every single day to get people just directly to apply for my inner circle. Okay, now we're able to do that because he's targeting people. He's fishing from a pond that he knows likely prospects are going to be in. So we can go directly to here, and we get sales from there all the time. But in a perfect world, it's always going to go this way. Okay, so if I have a video right here, I'm selling a $37 product, and this is the video script I'm going to go through, a lot of times I'm going to drive traffic directly to here, especially if it converts. Okay, ideally I'd rather start here and move up, but I use these tools, these pages, these things we're creating all over the time. Just like when we create automated webinars, in a perfect world, I'm selling that to my middle and my value ladder, but I'm also driving traffic directly to automated webinar because I'll make money on that as well. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay. So that is the initial how we begin all of our videos like that. All right. Okay. Number 2. Now we transition over to the story. Remember, star, story, solution, and this is where it starts getting fun. This is the part where you start entertaining and educating, getting these guys all excited. So the first thing I do, I just introduced the attractive character. I told them that a couple years ago I was just like you, and then boom, now we switch to a point of high drama. Okay, I learned this initially from Dagan Smith. Every good story starts at a point of high drama. Yeah. Yep, same video. This is all weaving together into one thing. Yep. So Dagan was talking about me initially. He said most people start a story that's like, hey, so let me tell you my story. I was walking down the street, and then I got to the corner, I took a right, and I started walking down, and I saw the store, and I walked in the store, and I started to buy my food, and all of a sudden this dude jumps out with a gun and starts shooting me, right? Okay, now most people have lost interest by like the whole first half of your story. He said, if you want to tell a good story, you start with, I was looking down the barrel of a gun. The bullet was, I could see the bullet in the chamber, and the beads of sweat were dripping down my face. As the lump in my stomach started growing, I realized I'm about to die. Okay, start at the point of high drama. Then I can come back to the backstory and be like, 5 minutes earlier I was walking down the road, and da-da-da-da-da. But now I've hooked you, right? Think about the good movies. Good movies, you notice the first like 30 seconds of a movie is usually the best part of the whole movie because they start on the point of high drama. If they can suck you in initially, they've got you forever. Okay, anybody remember seeing the movie Cliffhanger, Sylvester Stallone? I was a little kid, I don't know, like 10-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever I was when I first saw that. And I remember, I still this day remember the feeling because the show begins and there's like this big line across this huge cannon and they're going across this line. And all of a sudden, the girl's thing like starts breaking, and she starts falling, and she catches it, and Sylvester Stallone comes out and tries to save her, and they're fighting, and for like 3 or 4 minutes of things happening, all of a sudden she falls to her death. Boom. And I remember like, vividly, I remember sitting there and looking at my hands were soaking wet, and I was like, we gotta watch this movie, like this is awesome, okay? That's the kind of experience you want somebody having at this point, okay? You wanna tell your story, you start at the point of high drama. Now the other thing I learned from Dagan when it comes to story selling that's really, really cool, he talked about how most of us, when we tell stories, we haven't been taught how to tell stories the right way. Okay, we'll tell a story and we'll be like, we tell things at a very superficial level. So, for example, I was looking down the barrel of a gun. That's pretty good, but most people will move past that. And Dagan, when he's talking, he's like, if you want to get people to have real emotional impact, you have to get past like the visual thing, right? The visual is the gun is pointing at my face. Okay, that's powerful. But what gets really powerful is when I start getting deeper, I start talking about the lump in my throat that happened, and the beads of sweat down my face. And I literally, all like the emotions you're feeling, what's happening inside your body, what your face feels like, what your back, what your legs like. You start sharing that part of it, and suddenly you suck somebody in an emotional level. Okay? And most of us haven't ever done that way, but if you start doing that way, especially during this point of high drama, where you can really bring out exactly what you're feeling in an internal state, that's where you really, people start feeling that. We were at an event a little while ago, and we shared that concept, and we were doing more of a workshop thing where we let people write that story and share it. And I remember when this girl got up and she started sharing her story, and she was telling her story about the day she found out she had cancer, and she started telling this thing, and it was like the most gripping story she ever told. And she was talking about like the emotion she felt and the tears, the feeling of the tears going down her face, and like on and on. I remember just sitting there like sick to my stomach, and I was like, wow. And she got done telling the story, and everyone in the room was just like, oh, and she had us all, every one of us. And that's what you gotta do with this kind of story, guys. You gotta figure out how to take that high drama and not just tell it, but to make them feel it. Okay? All right, so it starts with high drama. You bring that. Then you shift back to the backstory. How did you get to that point of high drama? Because this thing, you got a gun in your face. How did you get there? We need to know how we got there. And that's where you shift to the backstory. Let me tell you how I got to that spot because it's a really interesting story. It started here and I went through it. Here's the chain of events that brought me up to that point. And eventually that chain of events, this backstory is going to walk you into a wall. Boom, I hit this wall. Okay? And the wall, this is the same wall that your listeners are probably hitting as well. Okay, so if my product is about list building, I was trying to do all this stuff, couldn't make my line, and all of a sudden I hit this wall where I realized kind of what this thing was, right? Or if it's weight loss, the wall is I was trying all this stuff, I tried this, and boom, I hit this wall where I couldn't progress any farther, okay? Because I'm guessing that if they're there watching that video right now, you guys, they just hit the wall as well, okay? The person with the pornography addiction, they see that video, they just hit the wall. That's where they're coming to me at. So I've got to meet them at the wall because their goal is to break through that wall. And if I can show them how I broke through the wall, they're going to have a little bit of hope, okay? So I bring them to that wall. Now the next step of this right here, after I brought the wall, I got to identify like what's the real problem. I hit this wall and I realized that the problem wasn't that I didn't know how to make money online. The problem was that all the people who were making money online, they had a big email list. Like everyone, I look at all the gurus, they all had email lists. And I was doing everything else they were saying, but the one thing that they were doing, I wasn't doing. Okay, that's for the list building one. For a weight loss one, I'm sure you guys could do that as well. Like, what's the problem? I tried everything, and I realized that while all these other people were telling me this, and I was trying pills, I was trying all these things, the one thing I didn't realize is this: the real problem was I needed to eat less calories or carbs or whatever the kind of the problem, the thing you're trying to set them up for, okay? So I'm identifying the problem. Now, remember we talked about earlier about inception and creating inception in their minds? This is where that part begins. I'm identifying this problem, and again, if I was hitting the same wall they're hitting, and I see the same problem that they're seeing, all of a sudden it starts showing that problem to them, right? And they're starting to see it. I'm bringing them on this path. Now, typically, after I identify the problem, there's one of two directions I'm going to go. Okay? One is the epiphany route, where I had this epiphany. If I would just do this one thing, then everything else would work. Okay, so you take them to an epiphany. And again, my goal is to get them to have that same epiphany with me. If they have that epiphany with me, then again, it becomes their thought. It's their idea. And now they're already pre-sold. So that's the epiphany route. Or the other way is the Declaration of Independence. I tried all this stuff and I got so frustrated, I decided I have to change right now. I have to lose weight. I have to make money. I have to stop my addiction. I have to do whatever it is. I'm making my Declaration of Independence. So either it's an idea they got, or they got so pissed off that they decided they were going to declare their independence. That's typically one of the two directions I take things. Okay? The epiphany is usually, the idea, or declarations. I got so upset and angry, I knew that I had to change today. Okay? And again, that's where they're at right now. They know that they showed up and they have to make that change as well. Okay, so that's the next step we take them. All right. So after you've had this epiphany, I had that epiphany, I had to build a list, or I had the declaration, I have to lose weight. Okay? I made that state. I've drawn the line in the sand and I've stepped over it. Boom. Now I'm going on this journey. Okay? I'm going on this journey and I got to try to figure out some stuff. So the next part of my story is I start telling about the path I went on to find ultimate solution. So after I went through this whole thing and I realized I needed to lose weight, I went on this path. And so first thing I did is I hired a trainer, then a chiropractor, then an acupuncturist, and this is nothing. And I'm taking on this path of all the things I tried that didn't work. I tried this. You guys probably tried this thing as well. I bought these ebooks, they didn't work. I bought these diet programs, took these magic pills, and nothing seemed to work. I'm taking them on this path until something worked. Okay? I'm going to tell them about my path to finding this ultimate solution, which in the end will be your product. Okay? But I finally had some success. I had a little bit of success with this one little thing. Okay? So what I'm showing them a little bit of hope. After all these things that I tried, which is probably the same things they tried, I had this little ray of hope. This is where this little hope came in, and I'm opening this little spot of light for them. Okay? And I start sharing, these are the first signs of success I had. When I realized that, I tried this thing and I lost 5 pounds in a week. That was the first time I lost weight forever. I tried this thing, I sent an email out and I actually made money. First time I ever made money with my list. I tried this little thing, I had a little bit of success. Okay? So again, that glimmer of hope. And now what I like to do is after they've had that little bit of glimmer of hope, now I like start pointing fingers at the other people, right? Because after I had that little bit of success, that's when I realized it was never my fault. This whole time it was the weight loss company's fault. It was the big bad gurus. It was the big pharmacy companies. It was somebody, right? Somebody that your target market, who they also hate, right? That's when I start talking about the conspiracy, because everybody believes there's some kind of conspiracy. They believe they're fat because of something else. They believe they're overweight. They believe that they're unhealthy. They believe that they're not making money. They believe that whatever it is you're trying to sell, they believe that because they think it's somebody else. Okay, we all love conspiracy theories. Anyone know who Alex Jones is? Okay, big conspiracy theory guy. If you want to buy ads on his site, like his audience buys everything. They're huge. They're rabid. They're crazy because people love conspiracies. Okay, so you kind of introduce this conspiracy, and they shift over to like, you have to understand that this whole thing is not your fault. Okay, do you remember earlier today when I was sharing with you guys, where are we at? Page 55, the beginning stuff of the inception. This is where this stuff's happening, right? Right now, I'm justifying their failures. Okay? This right here is justifying their failures. So this whole time you've been fat, and you've probably blamed yourself a little bit. You may have blamed your job, you may have blamed whatever, but it's not your fault. People are like, you're right, it's not my fault. Like you tell them it's not their fault, they're like, oh, good. Okay? I'm justifying their failures. It's not your fault. Okay? It's the big bad gurus. It's the weight loss companies. It's the drugs they put in your food. It's the programming, the TV. You got to blame it on something that they also believe in, because then you're going to shift down to, this is where we start throwing rocks at our enemies. Okay? So you got to figure out in your market, whoever you're selling to, like who's the common enemy? Okay, I told you guys, I think day one, the best way to build a cult is to find a common enemy and throw rocks at him. So in this process, I got to find a common enemy. For my product, if I'm doing weight loss, who is the common enemy? If I make money, who's the common enemy? If it's basketball coaching, if it's tennis, everyone's got different businesses, who's the common enemy that you're trying to unite against? This is where we start introducing that. Okay, the conspiracy theory is usually tied to the common enemy, and now we've got to blame someone else. I just told them it's not their fault, so whose fault is it? We find that person and we start throwing rocks at them. Isn't that image awesome? I was really proud of that one. Okay, did you guys see this? So if you come down the slide, I'm showing a little sign of success, and when I really got that success, that's when I realized it wasn't your fault. There's conspiracy, and here's whose fault it is. We got to start casting common stones. Because now they're like, yes, you're right. Okay, we're starting this little cult mentality, right? You guys have seen what people in cults do. Crazy stuff, right? You're not trying to create a cult, but you're trying to do all this stuff, right? Because you're trying to get people to buy into you and to buy into this movement that you're creating, all right? Now from there, after you kind of call them out and you say, now look, now after I figured that out, after I realized that it was these guys' fault that everything bad was happening to me, then I started having success. And that's when I started having success and started growing. And let me show you all the stuff that started happening. Okay? I made more money. I lost more weight. All this stuff started happening. Okay? This is kind of where you're bragging about yourself. Okay? Now the problem is that just by the nature of who you are as the person who's doing the speaking to them, just by the nature of who you are, they're going to think that you're better than them. And be like, well, you can do it because you're so-and-so, right? That's just the nature of people's minds. Like, oh, well, it worked for him because blah, 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 blah. Okay, so after you've showed your own success, you have to show now, you have to make it real to them and be like, but it didn't just work for me. I started showing other people. Let me show you case studies what happened to this guy when I showed it to him. And then this guy, and then this girl. I showed all these other people how well it worked, and look what happened to them as well. Because now they got faith that it's not just you because you're Superman, it's because all these other common people just like them had the exact same results. Man, this could actually work for me. You see how that works? Okay, so there's your rapid growth, your case studies. And the next thing I'd like to drop in here is the hidden benefits. This is another one I learned from Dagan that I think is really, really cool, where I come back and say, not only did these people lose a bunch of weight, the other thing that I didn't even realize was going to happen, the other hidden benefits is that now they had more energy. I had more energy to play with my kids. I had more time. I was able to date better looking people. I was able to make more, like all these other hidden benefits that came because they made this change. And all of a sudden, like, wow, there's all this other cool stuff that's going to happen to me. Well, my goal is to lose weight, but I'm also going to get girls. I'm going to get money. I'm going to get all these other things, all these hidden benefits I didn't even know about. Okay? So you add those hidden benefits, and all of a sudden, like, wow, this is even better than I thought. Okay? And that is the story portion of the sales letter. You guys liking this so far? I love this stuff. Okay. Then we transition over to the solution. Okay? So the solution now is your product, your service, whatever it is you're going to sell. So now we come back and we just, what did we just left off on? We just left off on hidden benefits. So now we come back. So because of all this stuff, we decided to develop, or I decided to create, or I invented, or whatever, this. And this is the first formal introduction. That's why I created blah, sassy grass drink. This is why I created boom, or whatever the thing is, right? This is the formal introduction to the product I'm trying to sell them. Okay, this is where the solution begins. All right? Now, as soon as I introduce a solution, so let's just say I'm going to use sassy grass because it's a tangible I can talk about. So here it is, right? Boom, here's the solution. Okay, there it is. Now I want to talk about the pain and the cost involved in order for me to do it. Because I don't want them to be like, oh, cool, I can go find green drink anywhere. I want you to come back and start showing like, this is awesome, but I got to tell you, when I created this, it was so much harder than I thought it was going to be. It was really, really difficult. It cost me a ton of money, a ton of effort. I spent 20 hours a day researching and finding all the pain I had to go in to be able to develop this. It was a pain in the butt. I did it for you guys. That's why I did it, right? Because I want them to show that this is not some easy thing. For them to create. Because if they think, oh, cool, I can just do that as well, then you lost them. You need to add this in. This is something I learned from Perry Belcher, adding in the pain and the cost associated with the development of whatever this solution is. Okay? But then you switch back over to the happy part. But the cool thing is that now that I have this thing, now that I've got sassy grass, I can I can become healthy so much easier. Now I start introducing the ease. This is so easy now. And it's so fast now that I have it. Okay, so it may have been costing me a ton of money, a ton of energy, but now I can get all the same results super fast, super easy, boom. Okay, now for me, this is where I start introducing some of the benefits. Now you guys know how I feel about bullet points. I'm not really a bullet point thing, but I do believe in introducing benefits. And I call these so benefits because most people screw up when they say benefits. They're like, one of the benefits is that the sassy grass is really healthy. That's a benefit, right? Who cares? So I got to add so after it. This sassy grass is really healthy. So because of that, I can blah, 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 blah. Okay? This sassy grass also does this, and this. so I can do da-da-da-da. Okay, the so, the little magic word so in there in the middle, that is the word. Whatever you tie after so, that's the magic of what makes a benefit powerful. Okay, every time I look at someone's letter and they have these benefits, I always have to tie, as soon as you add so to it, it just makes it magic. It switches it from being this like flat, stale thing to this magical thing, okay? I usually do 3 or 4 so benefits. I don't do a ton of them, but I like having a couple of them in there. Then from there, I transition to social proof, okay? So I show them the benefits of this. Now when I took the solution, I gave it to Julie and she loved it. I gave it to Micah and she loved it, and this person, and here's a bunch of other people that liked it as well. It's really awesome. This is why I like. So more kind of case study stuff, but more on the testimonial side, more the social proof side. And then, after social proof, now this is where I make the official offer. This is when I say, so I want to give you guys a chance to try your very first bottle of Sassy Grass. This stuff is awesome. Okay, so I make my first official offer. Okay, this is where usually I'm going to come. I'm going to say this is what I created. Boom, and then I'm going to start trying to build value. Okay, this is like if you look at a webinar, this is where you start saying, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to add things, and I'm going to give you bonuses, and I'm going to give any of the extra things you're going to add in to make the offer a little bit better. And I would be very careful that you don't take away from the one thing. Okay, the one thing is still the core thing. But you can build value by like, I'm also going to give you this and this and this, but don't spend so much energy on that because I do not want to take focus off of the one thing. Any of the benefits and the value I'm going to add need to strengthen and support the one thing. It can't be like this whole other thing because then you have to explain the new thing and all this stuff. I want it, like for example, high ticket secrets. Like the product is high ticket secrets. We help you do this. Okay, then my adding value is, and I'm going to give you guys all of our sales scripts. And I'm going to give you the video training where Robbie trains the guys. And I'm going to give you the ads we run to find new salespeople. And I'm giving some quick things that strengthen the initial sell. But I'm not saying, and I'm going to show you guys how to drive traffic. Okay, because it's like, wait, what? How, it's completely different. I just want my value add to strengthen the one thing that this whole message is tied around. Does that make sense? Okay, so adding value. Then I introduce the fake price. If you add up all this stuff, it's going to be $10 million. Now I know you guys are going to be like, I feel like a used car salesman, Russell. I don't want to do that. And I get that, but if you want to make money, you have to be okay doing that, okay? You normally say, so right now the product is this, plus I have to give you all these bonuses, the total value that's going to be, and boom, I got to give them a high price. And the reason why is I have to anchor that price in their head. I have to show them that this is actually worth this much. Because they're not going to pay me $37 if they think it's worth $37. But if they think it's worth $1,000 and I sell it for $37, they're going to buy it all day long. Okay, so I have to anchor that price, a bigger price in their mind. And as cheesy as it sounds, I remember the second time I spoke from stage, I was embarrassed about doing this, and so I didn't, and my pitch was even like, I'm not going to do that cheesy thing when people do and jack the price up and bring it down. My price is $1,000. And I tried to sell, and I got 0 sales. Humiliating. I literally walked off the side, snuck out the door, and ran up to my hotel room and stayed the rest of the event because I was so embarrassed. Okay? I would rather do a little cheesy stuff and make money than not make sales and feel embarrassed, okay? So it's okay to do that. Is that all right? Okay. Introduce the fake price. Now after you introduce the fake price, then we come back to the if-all statements. And we're going to talk about this in the webinar section as well. But the if-all statements are really, really powerful because I just gave them this price, this high-ticket price. Now I need to justify that price. So what I do, because most people, they share the high price and like, oh, but don't worry, I'm not going to sell for that. They get nervous, right? I can't get nervous. I have to stand on my ground and say, okay, here's the price. Now, obviously, I'm not going to charge you guys that, but before we move on, I want to ask you a question. If all this product did was help you to blank, typically, first one is something that helps to move towards pleasure. All this thing did is help you to finally live in the house of your dreams. Would it be worth it? People would be like, yeah, that would be worth it. Cool. Now, if all this thing did was give you the ability to finally fire your boss away from pain, I'm not sure if they're a pleasure or pain person, so I want to touch both of them. If all it did is help you to fire your boss, would it be worth it? Yeah, it would be worth $1,000. If I could fire my boss for $1,000, that'd be awesome. Boom, I got him. Okay? Now that price I gave them, that price is worth it to him. Okay, so the if-alls are right after I do the price hike. Then from there I say, okay, now I'm going to come back, and that's not actually the price, as you know. I'm not going to give it to you for $1,000. I'm not going to give you $500, not even $100. Because I care about you guys, I'm going to give it to you for just $37. It's going to be awesome. Okay, I reveal the price. Now, I come back after that and say, now, a lot of you guys, even at $37, you're going to be nervous, and I get that. There's a lot of scam artists on the internet, so I'm going to do a really cool guarantee. So I want to make sure you're successful with this, and I want to make sure that you take that leap of faith with me. So I'm going to give you a guarantee, and the guarantee is you can test this out, blah, 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 whatever your guarantee is, right? Boom, now they got guarantee. Now I got to start injecting some scarcity, because the guarantee made me feel really comfortable, like, okay, cool, nothing bad's going to happen. They start getting complacent again, so now I got to inject some scarcity again, okay? But even though I'm going to get that guarantee, you guys, this is not going to be around forever. Okay? There's a very limited number of people I can work with, very limited number of people I can give this to. If I give it to everybody, then the whole world's going to be skinny. Okay? We can't have the whole world skinny. We need some bigger people, right? Whatever your scarcity is, right? Okay. Yes, those liberals. If we give sassy grass to everyone, the liberals are going to feel great. Then we're screwed, right? Okay, so you got to inject. So because of that, we're only giving it to the first X amount of people, or when they're gone, they're gone. I can order 1,000 of these at a time. It takes me 6 weeks to get new stuff in stock, so I have some in stock now. When they're gone, whatever it is, right? We inject our scarcity. Now you got some scarcity. Now what I want to do is this future pacing stuff I talked about earlier. Before we go on, guys, I just want you to imagine what your life's going to be like when you and your kids and your husband and everybody is drinking sassy grass. Okay, they're drinking it, they're feeling more healthy, they're feeling happier, you have more energy. When you wake up in the morning, you don't feel tired, but you're excited about the day. You make more money at work, all these other things. Just imagine what it's going to be like. It's not going to be awesome. It's way better than you're at right now. We can get you there, I promise you. So just imagine that for a second. Okay? Now after you've imagined that, go down and click the button to order. Okay? Give them the first call to action. Go and click the button and order. Now after I've told them to go click the button and order, there's going to be people who are starting to click. And there's a lot of people who are still kind of sitting there. So what I like to do what we call post-selling. So look, we see you guys are going to order now. For those of you guys who already ordered, I want to tell you what to expect now. Okay, so now, if they haven't ordered yet, I'm kind of excluding them. Like if you haven't ordered, if you just started the order process, let me tell you what you're about to experience. So they kind of also feel like they got left out. And you're like, okay, so this is what's going to happen. When you get in the members area, the first thing you're going to see is this, and then you're going to learn this, and then I'm going to show you this, and all these kind of things. And they feel like they missed out. They haven't started signing up yet, and they're like, oh man, I need to get in. Okay, and the people who have started the process are like, oh cool, this is the cool stuff I'm getting. Okay, so I like to speak to the people who are already ordering the product. Okay, this is what's happening. All of a sudden they're like, oh man, I need in. Okay, and then from there, I switch over to the takeaway. Okay, because I come back, I just told about everything that's happening, and then come back now to all these people behind me like, hey guys, this is the deal. You're still sitting here, you're still on the fence trying to wonder what to do. And my favorite takeaway pitch, I use it in like half my sales letters. I learned it from Johan Mock, but he goes, look guys, this whole process is not about me making any money off you. Okay? I don't care if you buy this thing or not, it does not matter to me at all. Okay? Whether you buy this or not, I am going to be making a ton of money. I'm going to be eating steak and sushi, living the dream life, doing whatever I want. It doesn't even matter. It's not about me. Okay? But tomorrow, if you don't buy this, you're still going to be broke. If you don't buy this tomorrow, you're still going to be fat. I got a six-pack, I feel healthy, I feel great. It doesn't even matter to me. This is about you. Okay? And I got to warn you, this is not going to be here forever because I'm helping people right now, but I got a lot of stuff I got to do. So this is here now, it's on the table, it's going to be gone soon. So that's my takeaway selling, my warning. Okay? And then I close with a reminder. I just want to remind you guys that when you sign up today, you're going to get access to blah, 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 blah. So click on the button now to get started, and I'll see you on the next page. Very cool. So this is a tool, you guys, I hope you can use a lot. Literally, I would recommend keeping this book on your desk all the time. And when you sit down to write a sales message, really just open it up and just be like, okay, boom, what's my pattern interrupt going to be? All right, what's my core desires? Boom, 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 boom. How am I agitated past failures? Boom. What's my big problem? What's my one thing? What's the big problems? Boom. Can I introduce myself? And you go through, boom, and just keep going through. And literally, this is the script I follow, guys. I've been spending my head forever, but now it's kind of out on paper. And I went from taking, on average, a week to 2 weeks to write an entire sales letter to now I can usually do it in 2 or 3 hours. And now having, this is, again, we just created this last week. Now I have this, I think I can speed that process even more because it was me every time trying to remember, like, what's the next logical step? Okay, now I'm going to start casting stones at people. I was doing this, but now that, again, for me, nothing else, this tool is awesome for me, but I think it's something that'll help you guys crank out copy really, really fast as well. Yep. This is a front-end video sales letter for somebody, for a new thing. So the next page, turn your page over, the next presentation I'm going through is the OTO. The OTO script is completely different, even if the product's exactly the same. So if I'm going from a free plus shipping and my first upsell video would never be this. This is a front-end video where I'm driving traffic to this front-end video. Because you're 100% right. If somebody's bought a free plus shipping offer, I don't need to go through this whole process with them. They've already said the first yes. The second yes is a million times easier. And so we'll just jump right into this because the question, so you set me up perfect. I appreciate it. Yeah. No, but you are 100% right. And I relearned this lesson recently. We did an offer, and I had my front-end thing. It converted great. And then the upsell, I had the entire sales video like this, where, I'm reselling everybody on the whole thing, and it bombed. I was like, what's going on? And one of my friends, luckily, Tim Irway, he bought the thing, and then he saw the thing, and he emailed me. He's like, man, this is awesome. He's like, but your upsell video sucked. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, it was a good video, but he's like, I already said yes, man. He's like, I just needed you to push me a little bit to get the next thing. I was like, really? And so I went back and I started looking at the videos that were successful and the ones that bombed. And sure enough, I found this really cool common thread. The ones that were successful all followed this script right here. Okay? So this is our upsell script. So if you're going from free plus shipping to your next thing, or you're going from the $37.97 product to the next thing, whatever it is, this is the next thing script. Okay? It's the OTO bump. It's on page 83. Does that make sense what he's asking, guys? Do you all get what he's saying? Okay. So if I... It just takes 5 minutes to get someone to buy something. Yeah. So here's my free plus shipping, or here's my $37 to $97 product, or here's my $19.97 webinar, whatever it is. There's a script for this. That was the first script, the who, what, why, where. This was the script, Star Story Solution. This is the webinar script we'll be doing next. The next thing after any of these, so whatever the next thing is this OTO bump. Okay, so I'm not going from here to here. I'm going from here to here, or here to here, or here to here. I'm glad you brought that up, though. Yep, so who, what, where is like this, is this script for free plus shipping, or dollar trials, or very short, low barrier of entry purchases. Exactly, yeah. So that's what my who, what, why, where script is. When I want to go a little more expensive to like the $37, $97, maybe $197 range, I'm using the Star Story Solution. And I go high ticket, anything from $500 to $2,000. I'm doing the webinar script we'll be covering next. Cool. And then OTO bump. So after somebody said the very first yes on any of these things, then again, now that they've said yes, now it's very simple to get them to say the second yes. Okay? And so it's a very shorter process. The second video shouldn't be any longer than 3 to 5 minutes. If you're doing a 20-minute video, a 20-minute upsell video, you're losing tons and tons of people. Okay? So this is how our OTO bump script typically works. The very first section of it is, let me just put it there live. The very first thing I'm doing is I'm confirming their initial decision. Congratulations, thank you so much for ordering your very first bottle of Sassy Grass. And I probably should put this in there. Because the other thing is I need to keep that loop open. I might add that to the graphic. So I'm confirming the initial decision and keeping the loop open. Okay, so congratulations on buying your very first bottle of Sassy Grass. You were going to love it, but don't go anywhere because, but wait, your order's not yet completed. Okay, remember talking about that yesterday, 2 days ago, how if I close the loop, the conversions drop. So I want to keep that loop open. So I'm going to add that. And the second part of the script is like, before you go on, I want to find out if you'd be interested in, this is called the 3x, 2x. Which basically stands for, I'm going to 3x results twice as fast. Okay? So you bought this because you're trying to get more healthy. I'm going to show you a really quick way to get 3 times the results, 3 times the results in half as long, twice the speed. Okay? So I'm usually, and again, this will tweak depending on if your upsell is not necessarily speeding up their process, but most good upsells are like, you're going to take whatever they just bought to the next level, right? It's the next thing we talked about, right? So you just bought this thing, I'm going to show you how to do this better, faster, whatever. Okay? Then I come back, and now I have to come back to them, and I want to make them feel really, really good about the initial purchase, because the worst thing an upsell can do, and I've seen this happen all the time, people are like, you just bought this thing, but it doesn't actually work unless you buy this next thing. Best way to make your customers want to kill you really, really fast, okay? And people do it all the time. It just drives me crazy. So I want to make sure that they realize that what they just bought was amazing. It is going to change their life like I told them initially. And so I want to confirm that. So you are one of the smartest people in the world. And the reason why is because you saw the value what Sassy Grass could do for you. You saw how the benefits. You saw it's going to help your family. You saw all this stuff. Okay, you're really, really smart. But I want to help you, but I want to ask you a question. How would you like to have me help you do it faster or better? Okay? Or how would you like to have more information? How would you like to do whatever the next thing is, right? So I'm introducing that. And then I come back and I want to make them feel special, and they should feel special. And the offer you're making them on this page should be special. Okay, if they can buy the exact same price somewhere else, that's not right. Okay, that's what we call these special one-time offers. One of the worst things I think you can do, and I've had 3 or 4 people ask me this weekend, like, I keep selling them my offers if they miss it. I don't do that because I feel like this is a special one-time offer that they get right now. So I make them a really good offer right now. And so I tell them this is an exclusive offer just for people who bought .com Secrets Labs. This is an exclusive offer only for people who just bought Sassy Grass. I want them to feel exclusive. Like, this is the cool thing that nobody else is getting. And I like even going to the point of saying, like, in fact, if you go to whatever.com, you'll see I sell this normally for this price. But because you're here right now, I got this exclusive deal, this exclusive price, and you're going to love it. Okay, that's how you get your upsells to convert really well. Okay, then I transition over to what makes this upsell better. Okay, usually it's something that's going to make you get your end goal faster, you get better results, whatever it might be, whatever that next thing is going to do for them. This is what we kind of tell you. This is all the stuff that's going to get. And now I introduce what's the one thing the upsell is going to do. What's the one core thing of the upsell? Okay, very simple. So if you get this upsell, the one, like for .com Secrets Labs, my big thing is like you were smart because you knew you needed faster to increase your traffic or increase your conversions. But you know, the best way to increase your conversions or the best way to make more money is to start getting more traffic to your website. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a way to get more traffic faster, better, easier. And that's what we're going to do. And so the one thing I'm going to show you guys right now is how to get more traffic through my new traffic program, whatever it is, right? I'm focusing on the one thing, and I kind of share this is what that one thing is. It's going to be more traffic. It's going to be better traffic. It's going to be, you know, and I kind of explain what that is and why it's exciting and why they need it. Okay. Then after I introduce that one thing again, then I come back to future casting. Like, can you guys imagine what it's going to do for your business? Well, literally, you're able to double as much traffic you get without spending any more time or energy or effort. Like, what will that do for you? Okay. How much more money can you make from that? With that extra money, whose life can you affect? How many more people can you help? Whatever your goals are, what can you do with that? So I future cast again. Then I come down and give them a call to action. So all you got to do to add this to your order right now is click on this button, and instantly we'll add this to your order. You'll get it right away. Okay, call to action. Then I come back, I guarantee again. Okay, and don't worry, just like all my offers, you're going to get a very special, a very cool guarantee. If you don't like it for whatever reason, in the next 30 days, let me know. I won't bill you a penny. And also, because you're taking action right now, I'm going to give you some more stuff. So here's a value stack. I'm also going to give you this and this and this. And again, just like the initial value stack, I'm not going to give them new things because I don't have time to explain all those things. This video needs to be more compact. But I'm saying what else can complement the one thing. Okay, plus you can get this and this and this, really quick thing. But and the nice thing about one-time offers is scarcity is built in. But this offer is only available right here, right now on this page. If you ever want it again in the future, you got to go to my site over here where it's twice as much money, or you got to rebuy this product. It's just a nightmare. Like right now, it's half off, but it's only half off right now. So if you leave this page, it's gone forever. Let me know if you want it right now. Okay, there's my scarcity. Then I give them a call to action again. And I'm like doing, if I have testimonials about this product, I like doing a testimonial rush. And I'm so sure about it, or excuse me, after the second call to action, then I'm like, let me show other people have had success with this as well. And I show a couple videos, person after person after person after person. And then maybe I'll do one more call to action at the end, and that's kind of it. But you see how the sales process is a lot shorter. They already said yes. They already got sold on the concept, the idea, whatever it is. All I have to do is just show them enough value in this next thing, the next one thing, how it's going to help them achieve whatever they already committed to me that, hey, Russell, I want to increase my conversions, which is going to make me more money. Okay, I made that commitment. I've already said the first yes. And me to say, like, well, you got conversion, you want traffic? All right, cool, I'll get that as well. And say yes to that, like, hey, do you want this as well? All right, sure, I'll do that as well. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing is just increasing and making their initial purchase better. And so because of that, the script is very short and easy. Any questions about the bump script? Yeah. So this is my personal opinion, and a lot of people don't do this, but my own personal opinion. Remember we talked yesterday a lot about when I'm building something, I have 2 goals. I have my point of sale funnel, right? And then I have like my back end funnels. Okay, so my point of sale funnel, my entire goal, like we said, you guys remember, is to break even, right? If I can break even my traffic costs, I just won here. So I'll have my front end, I'll have my OTO, whatever it is. Now for me personally, I hate tying continuity into any piece of this because continuity is either going to be a really, really, really good experience or really, really, really bad experience. So I personally hate tying continuity ever into the point of sale initial funnel. It always turns out bad for me. When I used to do free plus shipping, we always do forced continuity, it hurt. When I did upsells continuity, so I don't personally like that. Now, I would say half the people in my industry put continuity in here, and they do it that way. I just don't like it. I think anyway, that's my goal. My goal is just put $1 in and get $1 back out. Now over here, after we've gone, remember we talked about this earlier we were talking about we're buying traffic, we're trying to get somebody in initially, and we're doing like the best sales process we possibly can. But after we get them in, now they know us, they like us, they trust us, they have attractive character stuff. And from here, I like creating, again, my high ticket stuff I'm selling. I have a continuity program back here I'm selling. Things like that where I don't have to sell as aggressively as I do up here. It's more like, hey guys, here's this really cool thing I got. Come over here and buy it. It's my continuity program. And I don't have to sell as hard because, again, the attractive characters, they know me, they like me, they trust me. And people will know it's a continuity program because I'm selling a continuity program. I'm not selling a sneaky thing that's kind of getting them in. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of my personal philosophy. But like I said, I see tons of people who hook continuity and upsell and hook at different places. But I just, in the mastermind group 2 days ago or 3 days ago or whenever that first thing was, we talked a lot about, there's a book I read a while ago called The Ultimate Question. And The Ultimate Question, I remember I read this book back when we were doing all these like forced continuity, free plus shipping stuff, and getting all these people in continuity. And the book talks about the difference between good prophets and bad prophets. It talks about like cell phone companies. Like, for example, I used AT&T forever, right? I had them and I hated them, but I never canceled. I was faithful for like 5 or 6 years. And they were charging us like insane amounts of money. So finally, I decided to switch over. I called to cancel, and they're like, oh, well, you shouldn't be on this data plan anyway. You should have been paying half what you were paying. And we'll drop the price. And they started like chopping. They tried to give me like this crazy deal to stay. I was like, if I've been overpaying for like 5 years, why wouldn't you have somebody on your team call me? Obviously, they're not going to do that because it takes away their profits. But is that good profit or bad profit? It's bad profit, right? And that's what I felt when I read that book. I felt like this big aha in my head, like, yeah, people are signing up for these continuity programs. They're getting in. But just by the fact all these people are calling and canceling, they're upset, and things are happening, I'm like, is it good profits or bad profits? Okay? And so for me, I want my business, I want to be able to sleep good at night. I want to come to an event and not feel guilty being here. I want to make sure that when I'm selling stuff, there's good profits versus bad profits. And I think my personal belief is adding continuity into an initial point of sale thing, the first introduction, most people are not going to know they're on continuity. No matter how much you put it in the fine print or anywhere, they're not going to know, and it just, it's not good profits. I want to focus on good profits versus bad profits. So that's my personal belief. There are much more aggressive ways to do it. It'll probably make you a lot more money short term, but I promise you long term, good profits will make you more money long term.